This is All India Radio. In the program Spotlight, now we bring you an exclusive interview with DG CRPF Kuldip Singh. Interviewer is AIR correspondent Anand Chaturvedi.
Today we are joined by DG CRPF Kuldip Singh, and Mr. Singh is heading the India's largest paramilitary forces at the present, which ensures internal security and safe and secure elections as well from time and again. On 3rd of this month, 22 of our brave paramilitary heroes lost their lives in an ambush by the left-wing extremists in Sukma district in Chhattisgarh. Now, Mr. Singh, with our deepest condolences to the families of the martyrs, kindly tell our listeners more about what exactly happened on 3rd April.
We had got an intelligence that there is a place called Junabeda. In Junabeda, there is a presence of large number of Naxals. Our forces sprung into action. Immediately they planned the operation, and on the night of 3rd and 4th, they rushed to the spot. As soon as they reached there, they searched the place but found nothing. In and around, they stayed there. 1.5 kilometer circle of the place where intelligence was to be there was searched, found nothing. After that, they planned their return. While returning from a different route at a place called Teklagudam, there was heavy ambush of Naxals. During ambush, they started indiscriminate fire upon the security forces. Security forces fought very bravely and inflicted very heavy casualties on them. Also, during the exchange of fire, our boys also got hit with that. They were using country-made mortars and so many other kinds of weapons which they had looted earlier from security forces. Those were used against the security forces. We also suffered some casualties. During that operation itself, when one Naxal was killed, our security forces retrieved the body of the Naxal also, along with the arms of one lady Naxal's body. And our boys, when they got hit, they were injured. Approximately DRG, STA, Cobra and Basaria battalion, all were there. Total 31 persons were injured. 22 later, it was found that 22 jawans got martyred. One is reportedly under their custody. So this was all about the operation. But our boys fought 4 hours with them, heavily armed Naxals, along with Jan militia and all. More than 750 Naxals had approached from all sides, because our operation was about 1.5 day long operation. So they could get some information that forces have gone there, and then they tried to surround. Casualties would have been much different had our Jawan not fought very bravely. The 2IC of 210 Cobra Battalion, Mr. Sandeep, was there. He planned it in such a good manner, as well as Mr. Manish, who is DC, he also planned in such a good manner that both of them took the mortal remains of 2 of our Jawans, dead body of 1 Naxal, and all 31 injured personnel, along all arms and arms of those personnel who got hit and were not to survive. And we were not in a position to bring the bodies also. They brought all those things together, kept on fighting with the Naxals, and bravely came back.
Mr. Singh, we are being repeatedly hearing in the media that there was some kind of failure of the intelligence or some operational failure. First of all, how do you respond to that? And then, was there a change in plan or strategy of the operation of the Maoists that you have been able to decipher? Was there some change in plan on their part?
As I told you in the answer of the first question itself, that there was an intelligence at Junabeda that Naxals have gathered. So we went for that intelligence to check and for search and destroy operation. That is called SADO. We went there, so we were operating on the intelligence. So it can't be said that there was intelligence failure. It was an intelligence on which the forces had planned an operation and went. So it was not failure at all. If you are trying to say, or if the people want to say that there was no intelligence in between when Naxals placed an ambush, so this is an ongoing operation. When the situation keeps on evolving, they keep on ditching us and we keep on ditching them. So number of times the ambush is laid by them, and number of times ambush and Naka and operational exchange of fire is done by us on them. So during this time, this was not at all operational failure, because I just narrated in the first question itself that they could fight for 4 hours pitched battle with the Naxals, and then they brought back all those injured personnel as well as the dead body of a Naxal they could bring back. So this can't be said to be an operational failure. This was an operational success.
Mr. Singh, listening from you directly would be a great thing. That how do you see the usage of drones in such kind of combat operations with the Naxals, especially when they're hiding deep inside the jungle? And was drone system used in this combat per se?
We use drones, and in this drone was also used. But I can't elaborate you on the operational details, how drones capture images, how we use it and how we launch operations. That is operational details. I won't like to share it with you, but drones are used.
So one very basic question which the listeners would like to know, when we know that the enemy of the state may be behind the borders or within the territory of the country, the government has to fight with them. But when we are fighting with the Naxals inside the country, we are, on one hand, we're saying that we are technologically advanced, we have drones, we have night vision technologies available with us. What is the challenge that is being faced by the state in order to fight these left-wing extremists? Can you narrate on that?
There are so many challenges on this, but we are countering that. You see, the challenges are the terrain, challenges are the communication links, challenges are there are no roads in the area that you can't bring all forces using your vehicles. Challenges are that they use the explosives and IEDs on the roads, so vehicles are blown. Or challenges are the spikes which they use for the purpose of going there. Then there are geographical challenges like during the heat, summer, and then during the monsoon time there is overflowing nalas and rivers and all those kinds. These are all challenges. But government has been very liberal in granting us all kinds of equipment by which we basically come up with to cover all these kind of problems, and then we plan accordingly and go for the operations.
How difficult do you think, Mr. Singh, it is to fight out the enemies in such kind of guerrilla warfare?
No, it's not difficult, but it's a challenge. Nothing is difficult. We are prepared for that. Our Cobra is prepared for that. It is for counter-insurgency operations. We train them accordingly. Whatever cases happen, we study, we prepare the case study, and after case study, we prepare ourselves accordingly. So we take the challenges and go for the operations. So during training, we never consider these things to be difficulties. These are additional challenges in particular area. Maybe the challenges in Kashmir are different. The challenges in Chhattisgarh are different. Challenges in West Bengal elections are different. Challenges in natural calamities are different. So these are not difficulties. These are definitely challenges. And those challenges we take into account while planning our operations and do the job.
So one more thing, that the current government has tackled this menace of left-wing extremism with an iron fist, definitely. And how do you see the change in our combat approach against them from previous years?
There is a big change, and that's ongoing also, in the sense that number of forces have been deployed more. The 5 battalions have been pressed into action just a few months back. The necessary infrastructure is being built. Number of camps are being opened inside their core area now. Then we are giving the jawans various kind of accoutrements, various kinds of force multiplier equipment, and so many other things by which the jawans and the officers and men are able to carry out their assigned operation in a better manner. More than that, elaborating more than that won't be proper on a media basis, because what are the specifications of those things which we are doing won't be good on the media.
So recently you said that there have been some reinforcements or more composition of battalions that have been placed there in that area. So do you think that has irked the Naxals more, so that they came back with such an ambush?
They are antisocials. They have to leave that and come to the mainstream. If they keep on doing antisocial activities, no state is going to tolerate it. So whether they like it or not, it is not, government's action is not as per their liking and disliking. Government's action is against ultras. If you are not conforming to the constitution of the country, then you have to be taken to task. As simple as that. Forces are made for that. So that kind of operation is being done.
So there was a leak from the villagers there who live in the vicinity about such a heavy movement of the forces in that area?
No, it's not always that there is a leak. But you see, when large operations are planned, number of times, somehow or the other, some villagers seeing from far or something, maybe that they put their people who see whether forces are coming out of camps, and they go and tell that. We prepare for that also. that even if they come to know, how will we tackle? You see, we try to go out of the camp unnoticed. But we prepare for that also, that if they come to know, what will be our approach to tackle them.
So there were reports in the media that two of the villages which were in the vicinity of that area were totally empty. There were no people in those two villages. There was a report in the media saying that. So when the forces moved through that area, did they not find something suspicious there too?
No, we do not move through villages. We avoid villages generally, and we try to hit our target area. Avoiding villages is a purposeful act so that our location and our movement of direction is not actually open and people don't come to know. So if they don't come to know, a lot of people, maybe they are appointed by Naxals, who the villagers will go and report to them in a faster manner. So we avoid villages when we go from there. So we don't go into the villages, and villages were empty. While coming back also, we were not coming through the villages. So if nearby villages were empty, it was not our job to know whether anybody is there in the village or not. Later it was found out that yes, there was nobody in the village. Or the report came to you, or report came in social media that there were nobody in villages. Maybe that they used the homes of the villages as shield and opened fire from them. Maybe that was their plan to launch operation or lay an ambush nearby a village.
Sir, Honorable Home Minister said that the country will fight the menace with added vigor and that the sacrifice of our jawans will not go in vain. He said the nation will take this fight to the end and will eliminate the left-wing extremism in next 1 year. What do you have to say on that?
That's the direction from the government. We will carry it out.
So the Women's Battalion has been recently added in the premier paramilitary forces. How do you see these progressive changes over the years? What do you have to say?
That should always be there. 50% of the population is male and almost 50% is the female. You know it very well. So amalgamation of the better half, 50% in every aspect of life will definitely make a change to tackle any situation, not only the forces. Everywhere and anywhere, they are all welcome, definitely up to their share of population which they are.
Just so speaking of the another part which the CRPF also plays a very vital role in ensuring a safe and peaceful elections in the country. So recently the 4 states and 1 union territory just underwent elections, and some of are still going through the elections. There are some complaints about some minor events by some political parties. What do you have to say on that, sir?
You see, the forces carry on their assigned task, job or mandate of the constitution or government, So we carry out our job. For the political parties, as per their understanding, making statements. I have no comments on political parties' statement on performance of the forces.
So one last question, sir. You met the wounded jawans there in the area. How's their morale at the moment?
Very high.
Yeah.
Their morale is very high. They just want
to Josh.
They just want to go back immediately and fight again. They are not in the battlefield. They are not liking. They don't want to remain in hospital beds. They are raring to go.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for speaking to AIR.
You were listening to an exclusive interview with DG CRPF Kuldip Singh. Interviewer was AIR correspondent Anand Chaturvedi. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. You can listen to it on our mobile app, News on AIR. This program is also available on our website, newsonair.com. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsdtalks@gmail.com.